Recording on progress. I wonder if that gets spilled out. Recording on progress. All right. Hi, I am Nancy Friedman, telephone doctor, founder and chairman of Telephone Doctor Customer Service Training. Been in business a long time. Bottom line, we're doing our out-of-the-box interview today with a very unusual and special guest. And he's nodding. Yeah, he's making faces at me, but that's okay. I've never met this man in person. We've just done these Zoom meetings and worked together over the years. And he is such an interesting, I just know, and I know from the copy that I put on who he is, what he's doing, that if you are any part of ADD, know somebody who is ADD. These 15, 20 minutes, whatever we spend with you will help you. So I'm going to introduce Mr. Stuart Cohen. He lives in Memphis, Tennessee, and he will introduce himself so that I don't screw it up. Stuart, go, baby. I told you it's out of the box.
I love it. That's, I think that's my motto. The box. There's no box in my world, in my life. And so I am a certified ADHD life coach. I am an adult with ADHD diagnosed later in my late 40s. I am also a health coach, business coach, professional speaker. I love to cook. I love to run races, and I could talk for an hour and a half, but that's me in a nutshell. I'm an entrepreneur.
You probably could talk about a button for an hour and a half, right?
Easy peasy.
Yeah, right. But let's talk about the ADD. I know you coach a lot of things. I didn't know you coached on health. Is that better living?
Yes, it's basically understanding what we put into our bodies and what we do with our bodies, so we wake up feeling more vibrant. It's all about living with greater vibrancy. Yeah.
Okay, that's another program. I want to spend the time that we've got today on, and I said it, and correct me if I'm wrong. We are not ADD. We don't have ADD. We are ADD, which is correct.
If you're really putting me to it, they say it should be, I am a person with ADHD. I like to mince words like you, and why don't we just say, I'm ADHD. Okay, I've got it.
I got to interject here. I've never used the 4 letters. I always say ADD, adult deficiency to something, whatever it is.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the 4 letters and the 3 letters of being
one letter?
One letter.
Well, kidding. So that word is hyperactivity. So it's, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And back in the day, when I say back in the day, it's not too many years ago, it was simply called AD. And then they sort of injected the H in there because they realized that there were some presentations of ADHD that were hyperactivity. So it could be inattentive, it could be hyperactive, it could be impulsive, those presentations, and they sort of changed it. So these days, it could be called anything, ADD or ADHD. It makes no difference which way we spell it out, to be honest.
I'm going to go with the shorter version. I am ADD, and I have learned to embrace it. Now, if you are ADD out there and embarrassed or don't know how to work with it, not only Stuart, but there's a wonderful book out there. And while Stuart didn't write, have you written a book yet on ADD? Stuart?
I'm in the process of writing one.
That's right, you are in the process of writing, and it will be good, and we can promote you again. But there's a book out there called You Mean I'm Not Crazy, Lazy, and Stupid. And I apologize, I forget the author, but You Mean I'm Not Crazy, Lazy, and Stupid. And it speaks to those of us who feel inadequate, do things and think, oh, shoot, that's stupid. They should never have said that or done that. Explain that process of being ADD or ADHD or whatever it is, and why we feel like that and how you can overcome it.
We feel like that because we feel awkward. We feel quirky. Sometimes we feel different. At the end of the day, you're getting specific. We get disappointed in ourselves that, hey, wait, you just told me the phone number and I've already forgotten. You told me the address, I've forgotten it. Where's my phone? Where's my pen? These are recurring presentations, and we feel different. Well, everyone else seems to have a better memory than us. Everyone else seems to be able to be more motivated and actually meet deadlines and not be late leaving the house for an appointment. I mean, there are a million presentations, and we're all different, by the way. So suddenly we get embarrassed, or keyword, we feel shame.
Huh.
We feel regret. Why can't I? I woulda, coulda, shoulda. And then especially young people, when I'm speaking, in school, sometimes they're told, if you only tried harder, why can't you remember? Why can't you sit still? And because we're genetically built to be who we are, which I'll explain a theory on that in a second, that we are genetically built to be like that for a reason. We'll talk about that in a minute, if I remember.
Being
that we
ADD.
end up
Explain to
going.
people that, yeah, you are ADD, right? I mean, you said it in the beginning.
Yes,
Okay.
I am. And we sort of develop some of us, an inferiority complex, because we're suddenly not comfortable in our own skin. So we don't put ourselves out there as much as we could, even though we are very vibrant. We are very curious people. We sometimes are super creative, super inventive, super funny and fun to be around. We have electric personalities. Now, our batteries may run low faster. We may have sharp emotional uprisings and sharp emotional drops. And until we come to terms with who we are and honor how we're built and how we function and say, hey, this is me. In fact, Nancy, I say, True Stu, you're getting True Stu right now. True Stu, unmasked. I'm just with you. I'm telling you like it is. And it is so liberating. It's so freeing.
Isn't
when
it?
we're aware, when we love ourselves, and we say, hey, take me or leave me. This is who I am in all my beautiful, quirky self.
Well done, well done. And that bottom line was perfect for how I have embraced it. I always read that somehow people who are ADD are wired differently. And I believe that. I don't understand where the wires are. Probably in my brain, like there. I have embraced being ADD. Sometimes I'm wrong and I'm embarrassed, like you said. I've never felt. Well, I don't think I felt shame. I don't know. So how do people find? How do people find you as a coach? If there's somebody out there that says, I may have ADD. How do you diagnose people as well?
No,
Or you don't do the diagnosis?
I am not certified a practitioner certified to do diagnosis. That has to be done by a physician, by a psychiatrist, psychologist. Coaches, generally speaking, certified coaches are not able to make a clinical diagnosis. One would need to go and make an appointment for that. What I can tell you is that you don't necessarily have to be clinically diagnosed to say, hey, Coach Stuart, I'm pretty sure I've got ADHD. Can you talk to me? Can we help? And while I won't do a clinical diagnosis, we'll have a conversation. We'll talk. So I coach people who have not been, who are in their 40s, even several people. One woman I'm thinking of in particular, she doesn't even want to be clinically diagnosed, Nancy. She just knows it. Why? Because she's got people in the family who have been. She's got a daughter who has been. So she's pretty sure at the end of the day, we can still work on those presentations. Some of those things that be annoying, can be frustrated, that can complicate our best intentions, our best efforts. And we just create a toolbox, an ADD or ADHD toolbox, so that we can all get through life with more ease.
Interesting. One of the things that I do that aggravates my husband I use the word interject. I interject a lot. And he calls me the best interrupter I've ever met. I said, I don't interrupt. I let you finish. To me, an interrupter is somebody who says, I'm taking over the conversation and you be quiet. But an interjection is someone who agrees with you. Oh, I like what I'm hearing. And or I ask a question in the middle of a story. So I guess I don't know how to be quiet. I am with clients. I am with interviews. So there's a difference. Maybe I just think I can barge into Dick's life easier than it, but I don't want to talk about me. I mean, you know how I found out I was ADD? I was watching television about a guy who was apparently teaching ADD. He says, let me ask you a question. If you have ever been at your desk and taken this pile from this side and moved it over here, same pile, right? You just moved it. Consider yourself, check yourself out, because all you did was move a pile and you think you're organizing things. You moved it from here and over to here. And sadly, that's what I do.
So the pile thing is very
I'm a
common.
pile mover. I'm a pile mover.
Piles are so common. Nancy, if I could take and everyone who's listening, if I could take the camera off, well, you couldn't hear it, but you'd be able to see the various piles. And when I know I've got piles on the floor, I know I'm in trouble because I will trip on something. That's just the way I organize. And for me, if it's so out of sight, out of mind, if I don't see it, I need to have everything up and out. I've got pin boards and Post-it notes, and I've got wipe off board, little white wipe off boards everywhere. I need to see it or else it's gone. I'm a list guy too. I need to go making a list so that when I wake up, I'm like, not playing pin the tail on the donkey. What the heck am I supposed to do today? Because I get overwhelmed with all the 1,000 things I want to do, when now I create the rule of 3, most valuable priorities. Let me focus on those, focus the brain. But Nancy, I just want to make a comment on what you said before about interjecting, or sometimes people receive it as interrupting. I have been a chief blurter. So you may be the chief interrupter, perhaps. I'm the chief blurter. Blurter means we have this thought, we can't contain it. Why? Because our executive functioning isn't there. There's no break, right? That's in the book by Hollowell, right? They talk about the fact that we have Ferrari brains with bicycle brakes. We're so eager, so happy to share this thought that we just can't keep down. We just say it. And until I recognized that, that was getting me into trouble in conference room meetings. Well, that was not helping me when I was trying to pitch a potential coaching client or get a speaking gig. I need to do more listening than speaking. It takes work. It takes effort to think these, because we think fast, right? You think fast. You can process super fast. Not everybody processes as quickly as we do. So I have little techniques that help me pause, slow down, remember what I wanted to say. Final word I just want to share with you, and I hope this is a good takeaway for everybody. The greatest gift I can give you, Nancy, is my full attention. So when I'm talking to somebody and I'm so excited to share this thought that just entered my head because I maybe have a better solution, or I want to tell them my story, or tell them, oh, wait. I process it and say, wait, I'm going to give them the gift of attention.
That's
nod my head.
That is,
so yeah.
To interject, I'm sorry. Sometimes people take a breath and I think they're finished. So that's where I come from. They have to take a breath. Oh, he's done. I can talk. But the gift of listening is just not common. It is just not common. It's not done. And I'm going to add to the clip of the video that I put this on as a teaser for that, because that is brilliant. And if you said nothing else on this, that is the best gift you could give anybody who's looking. Do I have ADD? Do my kids have ADD? Does my mother have ADD? And it's not a bad thing, ADD. I mean, if you look at the list of famous people, Einstein, and I think he was ADD, and there's a couple I looked up. Tell me if famous people who are ADD. The movie stars who are ADD is an A-list, and frightening when you think about it. But it's out there. It's done. It's not a bad condition. It's not a disease by any means. It's a condition that you either embrace or, as Stuart says, you shame yourself. So if you're out there and you think, or you even know you are ADD, embrace it, have fun with it. You don't have to be the life of the party. I don't think that's what you meant. Did you, Stuart?
No, didn't mean that. Although I love the life of the party.
What ADD people do, ADD, we do enjoy people, strangers sometimes.
Yeah, I will to anybody and everybody with a big smile. And if I don't get it back, that's okay. Maybe I give them a little lift, but yeah, do you like that? Do you like just talking to the checkout person at a store saying, hey, how's your day?
It depends. That's another interview because I'm on a whole rant. I like these interviews to be short and pithy, which you have absolutely done. How can anybody reach you, Stuart, if they are seriously interested? This guy looks good. He could help me, and I know he can. Do you have a packet that you can send out? Do you have information, a website? Go ahead.
Yes, I have.
Promote yourself, baby.
Thank you. Let's just call it an online brochure. Check me out. Check me out. If it looks like maybe you want to have a conversation, it's ADHDlifecoachstuart.com.
Go a little slower. You did do that fast for those ADD people out there.
Yeah.
Little slower.
You bet it. You bet. ADHD Life Coach Stuart, STUART.com, or just type it into Google there. The actual website that you'll get there, I go into the company, the corporate name of ADHD as a skill set. ADHD is a skill set because my mission is to help empower others to learn how to manage through the weaknesses, the things that we may not be too great at. I don't really like using the word weaknesses. I like to say, okay, I'm not really comfortable doing numbers. That's true Stu talking. So I figure out a way through it, and how to also manage our strengths. How can we leverage it? How can we use them as skill sets and live our fullest life and live happily ever after? So I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody, and we call it a discovery call, or let's just connect. Let's just be friends.
Yeah, it's true. You're on LinkedIn. Yeah, I know you're on LinkedIn.
Yeah, on LinkedIn, Instagram, and one of the best joys I have in life, truly, is hanging out with, having a conversation with another ADDer like you, Nancy, because there's this, we're inherently connected.
And we don't care if you change topics in midstream.
No.
But if you get somebody who's not and doesn't understand it, because Dick will say, oh, now you're talking about the dinner for Tuesday. You were just talking about the ball game. And I just always say, follow the bouncing ball.
Right. I love that.
Just follow the bouncing ball. The gift of attention is the takeaway for today. Stuart Cohen, you can find him online anywhere. So if you're challenged with some of the ADD, ADHD situations, a discovery call, does it cost anything, a discovery call?
Yeah, no, of course not. We're just talking.
Talking is like no charge. And I imagine the coaching is, but let's not go into that. Bottom line, thank you for joining me. Out of the box. We are out of the box. We're in another box altogether.
Yeah, we are.
All right. Have a wonderful weekend, whatever. Thank you all for watching. And Stuart, thank you for joining me on Out of the Box with Nancy Friedman.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Nancy.
My pleasure.